The 7th game we won in a row. The 7th game we won in a row. Oh, whoa. Dallas, Philly, Memphis at home. Then we beat the Dubs on the road.
And then we beat Miami in double OT.
Then we went to Boston and beat the Seeds as we got to 500, shocking the league.
And this afternoon, we beat the Chicago Bulls.
And the 7th win, the Kings have won in a row.
With DC as our coach.
Shah! Shah! Let's go! Seven,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hide Bob Myers.
Let's freaking go!
7! Come on. Shout out Jimmer Fredette.
Hey, shout out Keon Clark, Shout out Keon Clark.
Shout out Chimesi Metu.
Shout out everybody, man.
Hey, let's freaking go, boys.
Let's go.
Let's go, fellas.
Man.
Oh, what a day.
We
what
thought
a day.
6 was good.
And then we woke up Sunday and said, no.
You said no.
6 isn't enough. We want the 7 piece. We want the 7 piece.
Baby.
Boys, the Chicago Bulls went down tonight. The Kings, sorry, not tonight, at 12:30. The Kings win
An afternoon game.
The Kings won 124 to 119. Someone said on Twitter they stole RT's thought process. RT, say it.
I have never seen the Beam Team era, the Sacramento Kings, ever, and I mean ever, win an afternoon game. The only time I personally remember was this is a funny story. I dressed up as Kyler Murray for Halloween, where he was in his video game era, playing Call of Duty, double XP weekend, and it was like a Halloween costume. It was an afternoon game, and the Kings won that afternoon game. And I think that was in October of 2022.
Wow.
So Doug Christie, people are saying the most impressive thing about Doug Christie in these past 7 games is that he got the Sacramento Kings to win a game in the afternoon.
In the afternoon. Wild.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Because we've been historically bad.
Like every time we play Sundays, 3 p.m., like at home, loss.
Like easy loss.
Yeah. I choose not to go to those games because I'm like, I don't want to ruin my Sunday with the Kings loss. Yeah. And then we play in Chicago, so I think it was 2:30 their time, so 12:30 our time.
3:30 their time.
3:30 their time.
Yeah.
Same thing, but
same thing. Still the day.
Still during the day, and the Kings, they freaking did it.
They did it. They won 7 in a row. Can you believe it,
dude?
Just a complete win. Man, we were watching it all together. We couldn't believe our eyes, man.
Dude.
We couldn't believe our eyes.
Today's game was just like a track meet. It was like there was 28 lead changes in today's game. Back and forth. I mean, we just got to give kudos to Zach LaVine. He gave us problems tonight, but he was the reason why the Bulls stayed in the games because he was hitting huge shots against us, but the Kings never folded. We played an all-out game.
Complete team effort by our guys. Complete team effort.
100%.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from the first half, RT?
My biggest takeaway from the first half is where especially that's when we like matched lead change after lead change. It felt like the Bulls were able to just trying to go on the run, but we were able to get key stops from Keon, from Keegan Murray. You saw DeMar DeRozan was getting stops. Trey Lyles was being a pest on defense. Devin Carter. I just felt like we matched a lot of what the intensity was, and we got to the paint very, very easily in that first half. I mean, it just looked like an open door. Like that was like, you know how like in the song Frozen, like love is an open door.
Love is an open door.
No, it's not that. It's not
love is an open door.
That was not how the song goes. But
nice harmonizing right there.
But yeah, but it just looked like every time we got into the paint, it just looked so easy. It was just easy buckets for Malik Monk. I mean, he had this nasty like move on Lonzo Ball where he got him turning the other way. And he looked, and then Domas, he had a crazy play in the first quarter, like the first 2 plays, he had a crossover on Lonzo.
I think it was back to back. Lonzo was just lost by our
it was he got lost in the first quarter, and then he got lost in the second quarter. So it was just defensively, I think the Bulls are probably one of the worst not perimeter, but interior defenses in the league, and we took advantage of a team that was like that. Domas was able to get to his spot really well. I mean, we were able to get to the line. A lot of good things in the first half that kept us in that game.
Yeah, the first half was a lot similar to the Boston Celtics game, right? Obviously, their offense was flowing that first half, but we didn't let it get out of hand, right? We stayed within 10 pretty much the whole game. We stayed within striking distance. So that was encouraging to see that we have grit still. We still have that passion. We still have that fire. We don't let other teams' runs kind of get out of hand like we would in the past. So it's been awesome to see. It was it kind of reminded me of the Boston game. But yeah, like RT said, you could drive semi-trucks through both defenses, through both paint defenses in that first half. It seemed like no one could get a stop. But I mean, that's what we got to do to win games. Sometimes your defense isn't going to be there, and you just got to, have your clutch players step up in the fourth, and that's what they did.
Talk about semi-trucks. My gosh. Katie Christensen was going in on the Chicago defense. But yeah, I like that you said it was both sides. Our defense was not that great in the first half as well. But we were able to just get anything we wanted in the paint. We got anytime we got a paint touch, it would definitely lead to an assist in the first half. We had 18 assists off of 24 made baskets. So that's incredible. The ball was moving. We only committed 3 turnovers. But the other thing that did stand out, besides Chicago's terrible defense, was the fact that we shot horribly from the 3-point line. We only had 1 3-pointer in the first quarter, which came, I think it was Keegan Murray at the very end, and then we only made 3 others in the whole first half. So we went 4 for 18, 22% shooting from 3 in the first half, and I believe Chicago had 8 threes. So they were shooting the ball much better. The whole night, really, but in that first half, we could not find our range tonight.
Yeah, I mean, 56 points to the paint for us. Obviously, you could tell the game plan for us was to get to the paint. Vucevic, isn't a good interior defender, so we took advantage of that, especially in the first quarter. After I think we started 0 for 4 right in that first quarter. But yeah, I mean, sometimes that's the game plan. Sometimes you just got to take what the defense gives you, and we found a way to win at the end of the day.
Let me give you guys some stats from the first half, because I was very impressed by none other than Domantas Sabonis. 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. You know what's crazy about Sabonis' game tonight? He almost had a triple-double in the first half. He only finishes with 8 assists the rest of the game. So 1 assist in the second half, which was mind-boggling. DeMar DeRozan, 50% shooting, 10 points. So he was kind of on track for hitting our predictions, because me and Johnny thought he would get into the 30 range. RT knew he wasn't going to hit over 35, so he was a little bit more cautious. I think you said 32 points, 33 points on your Instagram comment.
I said something on Instagram, yeah.
But so that was DeMar DeRozan, because normally when he finishes the first half with 10 points, 20's coming in the second half. De'Aaron Fox, welcome back.
I think you read my mind. I was going to say, like, in our defense, we made these comments before we assumed that De'Aaron Fox was going to play.
For sure.
And so if De'Aaron was going to play, obviously those numbers would have changed. But
we gave an asterisk with that prediction.
Yeah, no, we definitely did.
If Fox doesn't play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fox came back and fit in right away. And I think this is just, it speaks a lot, because we had bad shooting performances early on in the season, and we would get crushed by 15, 20 points. And this just shows that our team has matured so much. We find ways to win when our shots aren't going in, whether it's defensive stops, whether it's scoring in the paint. We're figuring it out. And we're not relying on our 3-point shot to go in, where in the past, if our 3-point shot wasn't going in, you could basically chalk it up as a loss. So our team is mature. We realize that, hey, sometimes the game plan has to change, even though we're a great shooting team. If the shot isn't going in, we got to find another way to get the job done, and we did that.
Yeah, the one spark from 3-point land in the first half was Keegan Murray.
Yep.
Welcome back, Keegan.
Welcome back,
I think
Keegan
he's been shooting 54% in the past 4 or 5 games. He's been playing much better offensively. Defense has always been there, but tonight
he's a brick wall on defense,
dude. He always guards the best player.
Always.
So I mean,
his shot looks pure now. He's back. I don't know if it's because he changed the leg tights. He doesn't wear the leg tights anymore or whatever. But he just looks so solid, and obviously that key block late in the game that we'll talk about later. But yeah, we're so grateful that Keegan Murray's hitting his stride. Everyone's hitting their stride, right? It was a group effort. 3 different players with over 20 points. You guys are going to like this. Devin Carter and Trey Lyles with the highest plus-minus on the team.
Oh, give it to me. What are the numbers?
They're +9. +9 for Devin Carter and Trey Lyles.
I'll take it.
So, I mean, this is the definition of a team win. When your 3-point shot isn't going in, especially from, your main guys, Monk 1 for 7. You need a team effort. You need your guys off the bench to do the dirty work. And everyone that played tonight contributed, and that's what you want to see out of your team.
I love that. Also got to give another shout out to, let's give it to him, Lonzo Ball, 4 for 5 from 3 in the first half. Dude, he was killing us. I mean, obviously with his knee injury, defense is not his strong suit anymore, so he's just relying on the 3 ball. He was knocking down some deep threes, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah. I was wanting him to shoot.
I
was saying on the TV, I was like, shoot
it
the
was
ball.
either him or Patrick Williams. We'll live with it. But man, Lonzo,
then he made that first corner 3, and you could tell that the bucket got bigger for him.
Easily.
It's a shame, man.
I think Keegan was playing so well in the first half is because the family, father and mother, were in the crowd supporting Keegan. They made the drive from Iowa, and they were there to support their boy. So Keegan definitely had an extra chip on his shoulder in tonight's game.
Oh, yeah. He's been locked in, though.
I know. So we end the first half 63-61. So we were down 2 going into the... Or were we up or down? I can't remember.
I think we were down.
No, we were up at halftime.
We were, okay.
By like a point.
I think, 63-61. Right. Yeah. So next, third quarter. This is where things got interesting because the Bulls were making a little bit of a run. They went up 8 points.
Yeah.
Twice in the third quarter. At the 7-minute and 53-minute mark, they were up 80-72, and then the 4-minute and 17-minute mark, they were up 88-80. So 2 separate times they got the highest lead of the game, which was 8. So it was, like Johnny said, within 10 the whole game. But you know how we clapped back? We ended the third quarter. Were we up or down?
I think we were down.
End of the third quarter, we led the Bulls by 2.
We were up. Well,
Yeah,
Johnny's
97,
cheating. Johnny's cheating. He's
no,
looking at the stats.
No, but the thing is though, we were down like in the middle of the third.
There
quarter,
were a lot of times in the game, I think, when we were all watching, we were like, oh no.
Multiple times.
Where Zach LaVine was just making anything he shot, Lonzo Ball was making anything he shot, and we were like, oh no, this lead could easily get to 10 points. But shout out to Doug Christie making some solid timeout calls, not letting the boys get too hot, get too comfortable on Chicago's side. So, but that's the key, is we need to end quarters right. And I think that's the message that the coaching staff is saying to the players. And like you said, the end of the third quarter, we ended it right, and we ended up leading by 2.
So the reason why I asked or if we were up or down, because going off what Johnny said, finishing a quarter right, De'Aaron Fox right in front of the Bulls bench makes a 3-pointer to go up 2, and he turns around and looks at the Bulls bench after. So that was just a highlight of the game for me.
Yep.
So that was like a momentum shifter, because after that I was like, okay, this is
Fourth
the momentum,
quarter time.
and then this is where we turn it on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that moment definitely stuck out to me, where I felt while watching that this was where the momentum was going to shift.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was we definitely saw some threes start to fall in the third quarter. So it was definitely, that's where it was more back and forth. That's where the lead changes really started to happen. But then it was the end of the fourth where it was back and forth game. So I'm going to skip to the end of the fourth quarter, because we were like on our knees, kneeling right in front of the TV, watching the end of this game, because it was insane. So let's break it down. I believe there was like a minute and a half left, and Sabonis fumbled a rebound off of a Zach LaVine miss, and it goes into the hands of Josh Giddey. So we're up 3 at this point, and Josh Giddey gets it to Vucevic, and he drives. De'Aaron Fox swipes at the ball and knocks it off his leg going out of bounds. Timely stop. This was a game where our defense wasn't at its best, but we were getting timely stops, which led to the victory.
That's an effort play, too. That's an effort play.
Huge.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then we go down up 3. DeMar pulls up for mid-range, and that's where he shot that high arcing shot that bounced off the rim 4 times. Mm-hmm. So that happened. And then right after that is when they went on a fast break, and then Keegan Murray gets the block. So that was like, there was just so many defensive plays. There's no timeouts called in that sequence. And then we have the ball up 3. Malik tries to go poster Vucevic, loses the ball, and then it's a turnover. And then we're up 3 at that point with about 22 seconds left, and we're getting back on defense. And then Billy Donovan saves the Kings by running out there and calling a timeout. Because what happened right after that, Josh Giddey gets a 5-second
violation.
So, dude,
Jeez
that whole
Louise.
sequence was insane. We were losing our minds. That was so much fun to watch, and we won by defense at the end.
For sure.
So, in that fourth quarter, Zach LaVine was torching us. Yep. I think he had 11 or 14 points in the fourth quarter. He was making every three, very contested, by the way. And at the end, once he started to drive, that's when our defense stepped in and got those timely stops. So that's how we won the game.
Yeah. During the losing streak, we would always say bad teams, and they would say on the broadcast, Deuce Mason would, bad teams find a way to lose games. Good teams find a way to win games. And we made timely stops. We made big plays in the end. And those are plays that win games. Like Keegan Murray block was literally a game winner because that would have tied it up, right? De'Aaron Fox's steal off of Vucevic's leg, that's a game-winning play. So as good as another team shoots, there's certain things you can't do, right? There's certain things you can't do to stop a Zach LaVine. He's going to score, and he's going to have nights like this. But what you can do is keep the game close and make big-time plays, and that's what the Kings did. That's what successful teams do, and I think it just shows we're turning a corner.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think when you talked about earlier, those defensive plays, it reminds me a lot of what the Beam team was when we were in the clutch, being able to get those defensive stops late in games to allow us to win in the clutch time. It reminded me a lot of today's game, because it wasn't a tonight game. Today's game was reminding me a lot of that, where teams, we were able to get the stops that we necessarily needed in the clutch, and then we responded by getting big-time buckets in the clutch. Obviously, we didn't have the big-time buckets that we did, but I think what mattered more was our defensive effort in the end, and that really is the reason why we won that game.
I think this is one of the best passing games that Malik Monk has had this season as well, and we won the assist battle, right? So we had 33 assists. I think, too, this is probably the Kings' best passing game, right? The ball was moving. Everyone was touching the ball each possession. Malik's pick and roll with Sabonis has been deadly. Obviously, it always is deadly, but the way he's making these pocket passes nowadays is insane. But yeah, I mean, if we win the assist battle each game, we're going to be tough to beat for sure.
Another thing that stood out to me this game was the points in the paint. Your incredible analogy you said, semi-trucks were just allowed to go into the paint.
Yep.
56 points in the paint tonight. Unbelievable. Almost half of our points were in the paint in today's game. So that was just incredible.
But in other games this season, if our shot isn't going in, sometimes we would just keep shooting. And it's like we don't take advantage of other outlets. This time, our game plan changed, and we realized that we can score in the paint against this team. But in the games we lost earlier in the season, sometimes we would just keep chucking up shots that don't go in. Then we would lose those. But we found a way to win. We changed our game plan. We adjusted to what the defense was giving us, how the game was going. Yeah, man, that's what successful teams do.
I mean, we did shoot a lot better in the second half. We made 4 in the first half, and we made 9 in the second half.
For sure.
So we went 13 for 39 from 3. So, I mean, compared to Kings 3-pointers the whole season, 13 is a lot for us. So we actually did turn the corner in the second half shooting better. But yeah, like we just played
the first half. The reason it was close was because we were scoring in the paint.
Exactly.
Because we shot terrible for 3 in that first half.
Yeah. So most of our points were definitely in the paint in the first half. Second half was kind of just whatever the defense was giving us, we would respond.
For sure.
And we responded with a huge win. I have some questions for you boys. Now that we can look back on the 7-game winning streak, what is the most impressive thing you've seen on how we're getting these wins done?
We just look like a team. We look like a cohesive unit. Like RT said, we look like, the team that broke the playoff drought. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's contributing. It just looks like they have a second burst of energy. Like earlier in the season, it looked like we kind of lost that. Like we lost our passion. We kind of looked lackadaisical at times. Everyone looks like they're contributing, and everyone looks like they're happy to play with each other again. And the ball movement is something that I've noticed. Our passing is incredible. No one's, everyone's playing unselfish. Everyone's, not selfishly taking bad shots. Everyone's taking good shots, looking for the open man. And it just looks like we're having fun again. I think that's the biggest thing during this winning streak.
I agree. I think another thing that I want to mention, just in terms of just how you mentioned the offense, I want to mention about the defense. The defense looks like they played at just a so much better pace. They're getting to 50-50 balls a lot more. They're showing a lot more effort on defense. I think the team is showing a lot more effort defensively, and that's why I think Keegan Murray has been really successful shooting the ball really well. It's not just Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Devin Carter stepping up. Him being back in our team really helps. De'Aaron Fox is being a big component on defense. DeMar DeRozan, he's looked really good defensively. Sabonis has really, really stepped up. And I know a lot of people kind of give him slack on Twitter and Instagram and social media for not being this very elite rim protector, but he's making very solid defensive plays, making defensive rebounds, boxing out, being able to just get in front of passing lanes, blocking shots. He's really stepped it up, and it's allowing Keegan Murray and a lot of these shooters to shoot freely and not have to worry about just contributing so hard on defense that only one person is like their defense. It's more of like all 5 of the guys are a team defense versus one guy is a defense.
Yeah, that's well said. We look like we're on a string on defense, and I think that's helping our offense, right? So when I say we're playing together as a team, it's on both ends. So our defense, we're talking a lot more. Our rotations are there. I think that's translating into our offense being more cohesive and more unselfish, where everyone's working together.
Great answers, boys. I mean, it's so crazy when De'Aaron Fox said in a post-game interview during that losing streak is that we're not having fun playing together.
Exactly.
And then it's so crazy how a 2-week span could just change everything. I mean, Doug Christie stepping in, I feel like he's just fueling the guys with just motivation and energy on the floor, and you're seeing it so much defensively. I mean, like you were saying, 50-50 balls. I mean, this 7-game winning streak, the thing that's been most impressive to me is that we're winning in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. Like there was a game where we went against Philly 15-0 to end the game. We have had a game where we shot extremely well, like against the Golden State Warriors. This game, it was a back and forth game, but timely stops at the end got us the win. The thing that's been so impressive to me is just that we're winning in we're not just excelling in one thing. We're excelling in so many different things. And I think before the Kings game today, they showed on the broadcast that we were number 1 in net rating.
Yeah.
During this 6-game span. And I believe we're still probably 1 after this one as well. So the Kings are rolling right now. I think we were number 9 in defense. Everything is looking up right now. Yeah. And it's just been a pure joy
for sure
to watch.
I think when you're genuinely happy playing with a group of people, you don't let big runs from other teams get too overwhelming, right? You don't let it snowball. So like you said, the 15-point comeback against Philly and all the other deficits that we've closed, and with Boston and Chicago, how we've kind of limited their runs, right? When you're genuinely having fun and you believe in the people in your locker room and the guys in your locker room, you don't let the other team's success get to you. And we're taking the shots from the other teams, but we're also understanding that, hey, we're just a string of stops away from being right back in this game. Then we have 2 of the best closers in the league that can take care of it in the 4th. So we're showing a lot of maturity, and we're just having fun again. And as a fan, you just love to see that.
And I love that we're winning scrappy wins.
Yeah.
This was a scrappy win. It's we would normally I think there was a stat during that losing streak. I think we were 3-9 in games decided by 5 points or less. Mm-hmm. And now we're
through the entire season.
Season. And now it's I want to see what that stat is now, because we've been winning so many games in the clutch.
Yeah.
Like that Miami game, this game.
The Memphis game was another clutch game that we won. Philly was another clutch game.
And there were scrappy wins. It's we had to get those defensive stops and the timeless stops to get the win.
And then Chicago was another clutch win today too.
Of course.
For sure. Clutch defensive stops from Chicago. Not a clutch, bucket or whatever, but clutch defensive plays. And it's crazy how we can see the trickle effects of Doug Christie in each player, right? In that Keegan Murray block. When have we seen Keegan Murray end a game with a block like that? That incredible.
He did it on the streak though.
Right.
But
you know what I mean? Saying. Like that just shows, and the Fox play where he's not giving up, he's going in and he's making a defensive play, and the toughness, right, with everybody. We see Doug Christie's influence on each member of the roster, and I don't think it's a coincidence that they're all playing like Doug Christie plays. My
favorite thing is just seeing Doug Christie's reactions to stuff that's happening on the court. Someone said, I forgot, it was one of the ESPN people, but they were saying normally a coach, they kind of keep it together when a big play happens, and Doug Christie, he's new to the head coaching position, so he still shows that he's excited, exactly how he would react if he was an assistant coach as well. And that's just showing that that's who he is. He likes to be there for his guys. You see him hugging our players during timeouts. I think that's what's really being the source of our success.
He brought the love back to the team.
Yes. Yeah. And the city's feeding off of it. Sacramento's at an all-time high right now. Yep. I mean, this is crazy. So 7-game win streak. This is the first 7-in-a-row winning streak we've had since November of 2022. Obviously, 2022 was the Beam team birth of that team. Yep. And we had that 7-game win streak then, and now it seems like we're finally getting back to what we're starting to get accustomed to again, and it's been beautiful to watch. Let's go through the stats because it was just an all-out performance,
team effort.
It wasn't just like one guy; it was everyone. So let's go down the line. De'Aaron Fox, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. 4 of 8 from 3. What's crazy about De'Aaron Fox is that he hasn't played in like 12 days.
Right.
So doesn't look like he missed a step.
26 points in 33 minutes is very impressive.
That's
too.
And the
For
fact that he didn't have to play too many minutes is great too.
Yeah, 9 rebounds. 9 rebounds for De'Aaron Fox. That's awesome.
Huge, huge.
Yeah. Wow.
Malik Monk, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals. Dude, Malik has been playing ever since Mike Brown got fired. He's been averaging 20 points. I don't know the rest of the statistics, but he's been averaging 20 in points. Sabonis, just another night in the office, 22 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists from Sabonis. Keegan Murray, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 3-pointers. DeMar DeRozan, 21 points in his homecoming to Chicago. 3 assists. And then our bench, we had 23 bench points tonight with the 4 guys off the bench, Kevin, Trey, Devin, and Keon. But Trey Lyles, I just want to give him so much love because 6 points, 8 rebounds, it doesn't sound like a lot, but he is like our backup center right now.
He's playing center for us. We got to keep that in mind. That's incredible.
11 rebounds in the Boston game, 8 rebounds tonight. He's just giving out so much effort, and it's leading to offensive rebounds, extra opportunities for us. And Trey Lyles has been an unsung hero for the Kings. And it goes back to what Malik said. Ever since that guy dropped some LBs, he's been playing real good basketball, and it's been carrying on this whole entire win streak. So we owe a lot of our wins to that guy as well.
Definitely. It's good to see him doing the dirty work, right? Obviously, we know how deadly of a shooter he is, but he still went 0 for 6 from 3, but he didn't let it affect the other ways he can affect us on the court, right? 8 rebounds is huge as you're big off the bench.
Is fantastic.
As your undersized center, that's huge.
Yeah, that's the biggest point I wanted to make. It's just the fact that he is... Like, Alex Len isn't out there. He's the only guy.
He's basically Keegan Murray's height, essentially, maybe an inch taller. But games in the past, Trey Lyles would have an 0 for 6 shooting night, and then you'd forget he even played. But he's making impacts in other ways on the court. And yeah, you're right. He's been our unsung hero this whole winning streak.
I agree.
But he doesn't like the flash. He doesn't like the flash. He just reads his books.
He's the definition of a chill guy.
You could find him in the library in his off days.
That,
reading his books, and man, chill dude.
Dude, we've had just so many like success stories this 7-game win streak. I mean, just down the line, obviously Keon Ellis was huge in like the first 5 games, and then now like the 4 to 7 games, it was a lot of Trey Lyles, and then obviously Malik Monk has been consistent all 7 games. DeRozan basically, Sabonis. It's just been all out effort, and then Keegan Murray, of course, like the rebirth of Keegan Murray. We're seeing it in full effect right now.
Yeah.
So
I remember our pods earlier this season where we were like, "Where's our bench? Where's our bench?" Our starters were putting up numbers, and we couldn't get anything from our bench. Granted, Trey Lyles missed some of those games, but it wasn't too long ago where we weren't having a bench. And look what happens when our bench contributes. We're winning games. It's a team effort, and it helps our starters too. Helps take the pressure off them with rebounding and doing the dirty work. And it's just awesome to have a bench again.
I know that was like the theme of the Kings the first 25, 30 games, just about
for sure.
Was where is the depth? Like everyone was like putting all this pressure on Monty to make a move, but I think Monty is comfortable right now where he's like, obviously the deadline is approaching, but I don't think he feels as pressured to make like a drastic change. I could be completely wrong, and he makes a trade very soon. I mean, that's out of our control, but it's just good to see our bench finally stepping up.
I think when you mentioned it though with Monty looking to try and make a change with the roster, I do think that you can look at the trademark and see like how can we get better. Obviously, when you look at the Dallas Mavericks from last year, that was a team that got insanely better during the trade deadline. Getting PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, those 2 pieces really helped get them to the NBA Finals. And I think if that's the same case, you got to look at the roster and see like what can we do to just move on from some of our picks, some of our assets that we have, some players that we can move on and be able to be like, okay, now we can basically just improve our roster with players that can be able to fix some of our holes on defense. Obviously, the roster could still improve. We could still have another 3-and-D wing that could really help us out and match with Keegan Murray at times in the rotation. Another backup big that is actually can provide shot blocking, could be very valuable. So there's a lot of options. I think it's not something to be satisfied with, because obviously the 7-game winning streak has been fantastic. But I do think now it's almost like, yeah, we can really, really improve this roster even more now and really take that to the next step, right? Because those things can really help you get from like a potential first round exit to potentially winning the West.
Yeah, Monty's going to have some tough decisions as far as not really messing with the chemistry that's going on right now. But, health is never a given in this league, and you want to have depth for when those injuries happen. Luckily, we're not injured right now. We're not missing anybody. But health isn't guaranteed in this league, and you want to have pieces. So Monty's going to have a big decision to make. And, I don't think anything major needs to happen, but I think depth and more wing size, more athleticism on our wings would help us for sure.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that 2 weeks ago we were in desperation mode where like Monty could have did like a freak trade and just completely the roster would have looked way different, if he did something like that. But now it's like he could kind of like stand pat a little bit. But on the contrary, now that all of our bench players have been playing excellent, trade value's up. It's such a, like you were saying, I think Monty is in a very, very, very difficult decision-making place right now because,
you want to improve the team, but you don't want to mess with the chemistry.
You don't want to mess with the chemistry. You don't want to move guys that obviously are like huge pieces for the organization, as in like the fans are just so like we love them. You don't want to get rid of any fan favorites. You don't want to get rid of like guys that are best friends, split them up. So there's just so many things that can snowball after a trade, and like he just doesn't want any of that to happen.
The lucky part is we have picks, right? So it'd be something like making the money work, right? But if we can get a player on a team-friendly contract, we can give up picks for them. That would be huge, and not have to give up anybody. That'd be awesome.
That would be my ideal situation as well,
for sure.
Boys, this is the first time we are over 500 in the past 2 months. This is 20 wins, 19 losses. Just want to do a quick reminder that if we win against the Milwaukee Bucks,
what does RT have to do?
RT is going to the Rockets game on Thursday, and he's dressing up as Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty. Is there a cat in here?
There might be if we win. That might be if we win on Tuesday.
He's gonna grow out his nails and everything. He's gonna be
big purr, big purr.
Sacktown Shane Gillis.
Sacktown Shane Gillis is gonna dress up as Hello Kitty.
That's right.
Let's just we didn't really dive too deep into the Bucks talk on the last episode, so
today's the day.
So I want to set the tone by saying the New York Knicks played the Bucks. They had an early game as well today, and they absolutely destroyed the Bucks. So that is what makes things very interesting for today's game. They won 140 to like 106. I think they won by 34 points tonight. Unbelievable.
140-106. Yep.
Okay, wow. Yeah, 36-point win. So after you lose a game like that, it basically makes the next one a must win.
Yeah.
So
granted, they were at New York, right?
Obviously the Garden is a very tough place to play. Jalen Brunson, he had 40 tonight?
44?
44, and then Kat had a massive
30
game
and
too.
18.
Oh my God. Yeah, so, maybe it is a little bit of anomaly where the Knicks just played unbelievable. But, again, that doesn't really favor well on the Kings side, because the Bucks are going to want to turn the page right away and just put that game in the past and get a win against us.
Yeah.
But we're rolling right now. All momentum is on the Kings side. What do you think needs to happen in order to take care of a win tomorrow?
We're gonna have to bring our A game. The Bucks are beatable. They're more beatable this season than they have been in past seasons, but we know how they play. They're a physical team. Brook Lopez is physical. Bobby Portis is physical. Giannis wants to win the physical battle. That's how they beat you. Is they get into you, right? They're more physical. They try to push you around, and then they make threes. And if they're making threes, they're a hard team to beat. So I think we need to pack the interior. Not let them get easy buckets. Don't let Giannis get hot and make them a 3-point shooting team. Hope they miss. And we've seen at times they have, had some terrible shooting games, right? They're definitely beatable. So, but I think if we stay physical and we don't let our guard down, and Sabonis is going to have to bring his hard hat again, but he does it every single game. I think it's a very winnable game. I think we let them shoot. We let them shoot and we pack the paint on them.
Well, I think one of the things that also is really important, this is also a Damian Lillard basically you got to shut down Damian Lillard. Yeah. I think everybody's talking about Giannis. Damian Lillard is why they made this trade happen. Damian Lillard has been a consensus top 15, top 20 player in the league. And in one case, you just got to just be able to stop him, because when Damian Lillard is on fire, nobody else can stop him. I mean, he basically is such an elite volume shooter in terms of like range, right up there with Steph Curry in terms of just being able to beat you from beyond the arc. And I'm talking not just from like where the 3-point line is. It's like over, just like over in like goddamn Milwaukee over area. So for me, I think the key is really, really slowing down Damian Lillard as well as Giannis. If our stars play better, I think that's also a very big thing too, because that will allow them to really apply themselves on defense. We just have to just be able to just be better than their stars. And I think Damian Lillard is the main guy we need to really, really focus on.
So you're saying Giannis, you're saying Dame. You know who I think we need to stop? All the role players. We can't let them get hot. We can't let AJ Green, Gary Trent, Bobby Portis,
Torian Prince, King's Killer.
Torian Prince. Yeah, we can't let any of those guys get hot from three. Because what Giannis and Dame are so good at, well, let's talk about Giannis first. Giannis is so good at getting to the rim, but when he kicks it out, it's gonna kill us if AJ Green catches the ball and makes a three.
Brooke Lopez could be a
Brooke Lopez too.
Yeah.
Another thing about Brooke Lopez, I mean, he just is a shot blocker. So it's obviously our interior points are going to be a lot less against the Bucks versus in today's game. My guess, but I mean, we just need, like, how like when people game plan against Jokic, they're like, oh, make him a scorer, not a passer. The Bucks kind of have that luxury too with Giannis, because if he's distributing the ball, it's because he's getting double teamed and the guy's wide open.
Yeah.
So it's going to be such an interesting game. I'm really curious to see how Doug Christie games plans for this.
Yeah.
But
we got to fill the game out, and we got to see if they're making shots. Against New York, they shot terrible. They shot 10 for 34 for 3. So if we notice their shots aren't going in, double Giannis in the paint, double Lopez in the paint, double BP when he's posting up. But yeah, that's part of Doug Christie and Luke Locke's and the coaching staff coaching job, is to feel the game out and take what the offense is giving you.
And also, the Bucks are like the oldest team in the NBA. If we just out physical and aggressive, or play more aggressively than them on the defensive end, it's going to be a tough night for them. So Kings rolling right now. We didn't shoot the best. I think those numbers could potentially go up in the next game. Do the boys have any ties to that area? Is there going to be an extra chip on one of our guys' shoulders? Who has any ties in that area?
The
only guy, I mean, it used to be Halliburton, because he went to school.
He went to the Oshkosh area. Yeah,
very close. But does anyone else? Oh, Jay Crowder. Maybe it's a Jay Crowder. Yes. I knew there'd be something. Jay Crowder. I think Jay Crowder is going to be getting into the guys' faces.
He's got to get some minutes, man.
He'll get minutes. I think he'll get some minutes.
You think Jay Crowder?
I think so. Or one thing that Jay Crowder will do is just tell him, like, yo, this is like how this team is going to play. And he's going to really like get a lot of the younger guys like Devin Carter, Keegan Murray to be like, hey, this is how you're going to be able to slow these guys down, is by doing these two things, especially even Keon Ellis too. Oh my God, could you imagine just Keon Ellis just stopping Giannis on a possession? That would be insane.
That. I just thought of another tie to the Bucks. Trey Lyles.
Oh, with that
Trey Lyles
trade,
and Brooke Lopez punch.
Yep.
I'm not a proponent for violence on the basketball court, but if it needs to happen to just give the guys some extra energy, that's something to build off of, So
are we predicting a Trey Lyles masterclass against Milwaukee? He's got to shoot better than 0 for 6. It's got to be better than 0 for 6.
So, I mean, if we could just get more rebounds out of him and some made threes, and then we have Jay Crowder chirping the Bucks bench.
It's kitty time.
Dude.
It's kitty time.
Say it. Meow. Let's get to 8, boys.
Let's kitty time, baby. Let's go. Let's get to 8.
Hey, I can't wait to see this guy dressed up as Hello Kitty. I believe in the 8. RT, 2 episodes ago, stood up, looked at the camera, and he said that he thinks that we're going to win 3 and out on the road.
He has the script.
He has the script.
I got the script.
Dude. Let's make it happen, boys.
Make it happen.
Let's go.
Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Thank you for listening to us talk about our favorite thing in the world, which is basketball. especially when the Sacramento Kings are playing.
Yeah.
Thank you again for all the new subscribers that have just been flooding our channel recently.
Yes.
We are so appreciative of that. And
Absolutely.
thank you for all those amazing comments that we got on the last video. And guess what? This video is going out today.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's ride
go.
this wave together.
Let's
Kings fans.
go.
Let's ride this wave together.
Ride the
We
wave.
love you.
Hop on for the ride because the Kings are only going up. Let's get this guy in a Hello Kitty outfit. Let's go.
Let's do it. Tuesday.
Meow, 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 meow.
Give us the meow mix too.
We love you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.